What's up, outdoor people and fellow homesteaders? It's David here at Southern Outdoors. I apologize if it's some wind noise. I can't win here. I'm trying to make y'all videos and several videos now, but every time we have a pretty day, we have lots of wind, so I apologize. I just hadn't been shoving the content out like I normally do. So anyway, it's the time of year where we're prepping gardens. We have animals. Y'all been seeing the animals being born, or at least being hatched, I should say, or the baby rabbits as well. And anyway, we've been prepping. I've already done one part of the garden, and I'll show y'all that. I've planted, that was no-till. I planted squash, and I put up my tomato fencing, and we planted potatoes. I didn't do those videos because I've done a potato video in the past, so wasn't no sense in that. The others, I haven't planted tomatoes yet, just put up the fencing. But the other side of that is we have like 10 days coming with rain in the next 2 weeks. So I have to get this garden in. It is now, I think, the 30th of March. So it's time to be planting. April rolls around. I'm about a week or so early, but I'm looking at the forecast. We don't have lows, but into the mid 40s at worst for the next 10 days. So that should put us around the 10th of April. I try to have a good portion of my garden in around April 15th, at least my seed portions in the ground. So I did not show you this, the racket, the wind, but I did till under my garden a week ago or 2 weeks ago, just so it'll help it dry it out on the portion I'm working in today. And then yesterday I tilled it under twice, so that's what that looks like. Anyway, it is ready. That is good soil. Let y'all look down there. It's got a little weeds, purple dead nettle, and a little bit of Bermuda. I mean, it comes back. Bermuda's hard to kill, and I'm not putting chemicals. So anyway, a couple things I'm going to use to work with. I'm going to plant, what I'm planting today, lima beans and corn. I can't remember the name of the lima bean. I'll show y'all that in a little bit. But the corn, we always plant peaches and cream. It is phenomenal. It always does well here. And so we're going to plant it. We didn't plant it last year because we had enough left over in the freezer. We didn't need it. And we've made it so far. So a couple things. The tiller, the yard machine. It's an 18-inch tilling width. It's a rear tine. Other stuff you're going to need, sorry about the sun. You'll need a hammer. I like to have 2 stakes of sort. You can use wood or whatever. I have 2 pieces of rebar with string on it, and these will roll out, and that'll make my straight lines and when I measure out. Other thing, I'm going to have a pitchfork or basically a stall rake, what you use to pick up horse manure and shavings. I'm using a garden rake, and I have a leaf rake because I'm going to try to get some of these weeds out that are turned up. Now, the most important part is the planter. I can do it by hand, or I can use the Earthway planter. If you don't have one of these, I highly suggest it. This is the model 1000B. Anyway, and it has different plates for different things. The last time I used it, I'm looking inside of here, with sweet corn. So I'll have sweet corn that I plant today. There's different plates for different size seeds or different beans and different things. The other one's going to be a bean plate because I'm planting beans and corn today. But anyway, I'll let y'all see that in just a little bit. I'm going to get after it, let y'all watch me in the garden a little, and then we'll move on. And Alright guys, I know it's not perfect. But I got a good portion of the weeds out over here. It's just gumming up the area. Normally don't worry about it. Like I said, we don't use chemicals, but I will till in between the rows. I'll make them big enough to bring the tiller down. That being said, looks decent. It's decent enough to start tilling. I mean, start planting. But before I do that, I realized a problem. Let me take you over here and show y'all the problem. Well, not those two in particular, but the chickens in general, they're getting in the garden. So I'm gonna plant, and I'm going to put chicken wire all the way around. So done everything else. We have a few of them that can slip through this fencing. It's 6 by 6. We have a few of them that can fly, but I fixed most of the flying in problem from any of my gardens. I cut or clip the wings on the chickens. The problem is when they start molting, it won't do no good. They'll come back with new feathers. So if you're gonna do them where it's permanent, you gotta do them when they're babies, and I'm not doing that. I don't think that's a good idea. So altering the body of the chickens. Anyway, to each his own. If y'all want to do that, it's fine. I'm just not doing that. I'm just gonna get after it. Put the cedar to work. All right, guys, I had to stop for a minute and put a fence up. I'll finish the fence tomorrow, but I had to put chicken wire up to keep the chickens out of here. I could see immediately it was going to be a problem if I put corn down in here. See, I didn't plant corn last year. I planted okra, tomatoes, stuff like that, bigger plants. I wasn't really concerned about it. Wasn't a problem last year, chickens, but it was going to be a problem this year. So I'm about to put corn down. I went ahead and raked it and got some more grass out. I decided I wasn't done. Anyway, I'm just gonna put the machine to use. Have the right plate inside the. Apologize for the wind, or if you think I'm yelling, I'm trying to make sure y'all can hear me. But got the Earthway planter. Gonna get my rows set up. They're gonna be on 20-inch, I think 24-inch centers. So anyway, I'm just gonna get after it. What, bud? Hey, don't move that. Hey, that's corn. We're planting corn.
I want corn.
Excited about the corn? Hey. I don't want you raking it. I've got this ready to go to press. All right, guys, I don't know what happened to my outro the other day, but figured I'd show you what's up with the garden, where we are after. Obviously it's like 4 or 5 days later after I planted. We've had some hectic weather here, tornadoes and everything else, and maybe I'll show you that at some point. It did miss the house. We had no damage, but only missed it by about 500 yards, and then there's quite a bit of damage. But anyway, corn's planted, the beans are planted. That's what it looks like. It's actually raining out here right now. Crazy weather. Not much to see, but it is planted. Figured I'd show you. So anyway, 7 to 14 days, the corn will come up, the lima beans will come up, and we'll be doing good. Like I said, most of the weeds are out of here. I do have some. You see that? Some in there, but I'll be able to get the tiller. Get the water off the glass. It's starting to rain heavy. Let me get in here. Anyway, I'll be able to get the tiller in between the rows and get the weeds out. I don't like to till if I don't have to, but corn and stuff is kind of necessary as much as we plant. So. What's up, guys? As you see, I'm not in the garden no more. It's been a hectic week. I did get the lima beans planted. I did get the corn planted. The corn was peaches and cream, and the lima beans were a thorough green, baby lima. It's a new variety I'm trying this year. Anyway, that being said, it is a bush lima bean. My rows are on 24-inch centers, as I said earlier in the video. I apologize, I didn't get an outro. I worked until 9 o'clock that night in the garden getting it in before rain. Well, I was supposed to give you an animal update the next day. So like I said, I've had all kinds of issues here between wind lately, storms. The day after this, we had tornadoes that evening. I'm blessed in the fact that everything's okay. Most of our neighbors are fine, but we had a tornado of pretty good size. Barely miss our house, probably about 500 yards from our house. Somehow it zigged and zagged in between houses, and only minor damage. I say minor. One house had a little more than other, but for the grand scheme of things, minor from what it could have been. Just away from that house, we have trees, oak trees that are 2 and 3 foot in diameter gone, laid over. Whole forest of them, I should say, acres and acres. So like I said, we're truly blessed. It didn't hit our house, didn't hit us. Most of our neighbors are unscathed with them, considering how big it was. The house didn't take as much hit as their property did. But anyway, that being said, the garden's planted, the beans are in the ground, the corn's in the ground, and now I'm shooting the outro because I don't know. I forgot to do it the next day. It was pretty crazy. So it's what it looks like. I will also try to post in the next 2 or 3 days an update on animals. I lost footage and had problems with footage. I should already had updates, but definitely got a lot of babies around here that y'all haven't seen. So I'll be sure to get on that. Thank y'all for watching. If you have questions about the cedar, how we do things, what we're planting, whatever else we're planting, exact varieties, shoot them to me. Put them in the comment section and I will answer them and let y'all know exactly what we're planting. But for those of you that are watching, I appreciate it. If whatever social media platform you're on, if you'll like us, give us a thumbs up and share us, that would be excellent. That helps us out tremendously. And let me know down in the comments also what y'all are planting. Maybe get creative next year, but I've got a little bit left. I know I've got green beans to plant, and I also have my plants to plant, like tomato plants. I don't start them as seed usually. Sometimes I do, but not this year. Cucumber plants. I hadn't done any of that stuff. Or the okra, I haven't planted those seeds. It's not quite time for that. Watermelon, cantaloupe, I still have those things to do. Once again, thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next video.